How to have more motivation. Well, motivation is the product of aligned perspective and values. When my perspective and values align towards a goal, I'm going to be motivated to accomplish that goal. For example, in the past, my goal was to make the NBA. And I had the perspective of if I work out, I'm going to get better at basketball. And I had a value on becoming a better basketball player. So because my perspective and my value aligned towards a goal, I was motivated to work out, even though I don't always want to. Like, it's not always fun to work out, right? But I was motivated to do so because my perspective and value align. What's that? That's called internal control. See, motivation is not external as much as it is internal. And people look at the external. They look at motivational videos, which is not bad. I do that sometimes as well. But videos or programs or different things outside of them, when in reality, lasting motivation comes from controlling yourself. It comes from mastering your thoughts and mastering your beliefs, because guess what? That is what shapes your actions, not what happens externally. Because no matter what circumstances come throughout your day, you can always choose to respond in a positive way. You determine your response, not your circumstances. See, many people are emotion driven. What's an emotion? An emotion is an automatic reaction. Many times you can't control it. For example, someone like hits me in the head. That was kind of hard. If they hit me in the head, I may get the emotion of anger or frustration rise up. That's an automatic reaction. Now, your feeling is when you become aware that I feel angry, I feel frustrated. You can't always control that either. But what you can control is your response and what I call your expression, what you do with your emotion. Do you choose to, in your anger, punch the person back? Or do you choose to turn the other cheek, like Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5? What do you choose to do, right? That's what you have control over. But because so many people are emotion driven, they have automatic reactions dictate their responses. And what that does is their motivation comes from something they can't control. Because like I said, you can't always control your emotions. So when I feel angry, I'm motivated to act in accordance with that anger. And that's why so many people are inconsistent in life. The motivation is based on automatic reactions, and the automatic reactions produces the responses, and they choose to be inconsistent in their responses. But guess what? When you choose to act in ways inconsistent with reality for long enough, that then becomes reality. Now, I know I said a bunch of words, but what exactly does that mean? That means when we choose to act in ways that don't align with our eternal state, we get more consistent results. So even though I'm angry, I can choose to act in a way that's positive. And over time, as I do that, I become a more positive person. And that makes me more likely to act in alignment with that identity, because that's the way I view myself. So again, someone hits me in the mouth, or hits me in the face, actually, and I get emotion, anger rise up. But I choose to be happy. I choose to forgive the person. And as I do that over time, I become a happy person, and I'm motivated to act in alignment with that. So people simply, they're emotion driven. They choose to look for something external, and also they haven't become the person who is motivated yet. See, many people have victim mentalities in life. They say, man, life is against me. I have so much stuff to do. I can't do all this stuff. Like, they have such victim mentalities. Dude, like, we can't control a lot of things in life. We can only control the controllables. And get this, good outcomes are the result of consistent positive behaviors. It doesn't matter what circumstances come in your way. If you choose to control what you can control, you're going to get the best outcome you possibly can get. And the other stuff is outside your control, so you don't have to worry about that. But that's where many people fail again. See, recently I wrote a book. Oh, kind of recently, but I wrote a book, and to be honest, I didn't put everything I had into it. Like, I was telling people, man, I wrote a book. I was trying to get their approval. I was prideful. And because of that, when the book was done, I'm looking back at it about 5 months later. I'm like, man, it hurts. It hurts. What's that called? That's called the gap of potential. I could have had a much better book, but because it wasn't that good, now I feel the gap, the pain that comes from knowing I didn't try my hardest. And many people have the same thing. They don't try all they can on the work they're doing. Instead, they have motivation towards getting it done instead of doing their best. And they feel pain after getting it done because they know they could have done better. What's that? That's having success as the outcome and not the input. But when you shift your mindset and say, yo, success to me is not how many people buy my book. It's not how fast I get it done. No, success to me is how much effort I put in. And I know if I did all I could, I have succeeded, even if I failed. Even if it gets 0-star rating, I succeeded because I know I did all I could. But when you have a victim mentality, you don't have the same mindset. You don't put all you can do into what you can do. Instead, you do as little as you can just to get it by. And that ruins your motivation. When you're motivated by just getting as little stuff as you can to do, you're lazy. You're lazy. But that's how people are. Why? Because society has made us like this. We have AI, we have ChatGPT, we have different things that make life so simple, you never have to challenge yourself. And when you don't challenge, you do not grow. My message right now is just to reframe what you're doing. Say, hey, the growth is in the input. The growth is in the challenge. And that motivates you to now get better because you're pushing yourself beyond what you believe you can handle. And again, going back to thoughts and beliefs. Motivation is a product of internal thoughts and beliefs, what you think about yourself, because your thoughts and beliefs shape your actions. So when I say, man, I can't wait to accomplish this goal, I can't wait to do this, what you're doing is you're building anticipation. And anticipation, I got this definition from Mind Golden, but I reframed it. It's the energy you get from having a good expectation. So going back to my book example, if I say, man, I can't wait to get this book done, or man, I can't wait to sell this book and make sure people love reading this book. What I'm doing with these good expectations is I'm building anticipation, and that's energy towards that outcome. And when you have energy towards, you're going to desire. So as I have energy towards making the book and selling the book, that makes me more motivated to get the book done. What's that? That's a product of my thoughts. It's a product of my beliefs. But again, people don't control their beliefs. Instead, they use their beliefs in a disempowering way. They say things like, man, no one's going to read my book, or no one's going to buy my course, no one's going to watch my videos. As they say these things, they're building what I call dread. Dread is the energy I get from having a negative expectation. So when you have bad expectations, this, instead of anticipation, which is energy for the outcome, you're producing energy against the outcome, energy against getting the book done, energy against posting the video. And that hurts your motivation, because now as you have energy towards a different outcome, you're motivated towards doing that thing that's actually against the progress you want to see. So back to my original message, you have to shift your beliefs. You have to shift your thoughts and have the product, have the prize be on the inputs and what you're doing and not on the outcome itself. That changes your motivation. Why? Because it changes your value and it changes your perspective. And once those align, you now have more motivation. So shift your perspective and get more motivation. So thank you for watching this video. I kind of did more like just idea throwing out. You like this type of content, feel free to subscribe. Or if you don't, let me know and I can change back. Before I was doing more like structured ideas, but I just want to try this style out and see if it works. So thank you guys for watching again, and make sure to hit that like button.